Hello there, this is Anthony Johnson, and the premise of this video is to show you how to use the export data wizard to insert records that has an identity value or a unique identifier into a table that has identity column in it. So essentially this is the way to do it through the GUI opposed to having to write the set identity insert on and set identity insert off. So let's look at our table construction here. And as you can see, we have 9 columns. And if we lift this bar up here, we see we have an identity column on the cell ID. So which means you cannot manually insert into that column. It does it automatically. So when you're inserting into this table, you will have to just omit the cell ID from your column names when you're inserting. So opposed to having 9 columns, you'll be inserting 8 values. The identity column will take care of itself. So let's go here. And as you can see, we have nothing in our table. So the data that we're going to be putting into this table is going to be from the world sales database. So we're going to open up databases, scroll down until we see world sales, and it's right here. Right click on world sales, go to tasks, scroll down to export data. Okay, so now we have to start with our data source. Our data source, it is going to be OLEDB provider for SQL Server, and it auto populates world sales because that's what we started off as when we right click on the database. Our destination is also going to be SQL Server, OLEDB provider for SQL Server. So here you have to come down and either enter or hit the drop down for your server name. We're just going to hit the drop down. It typically takes a few seconds, so once that happens, we can get the ball rolling. Alrighty, there we go. So now we have that. So now that essentially enables our databases. So opposed to having default there, you hit the drop down. And we are going to the test database, test DB. I'm going to hit next. We're going to write a query to specify the data to transfer. So our query window pops up here. We already have a query written out. We're actually just going to copy this and place this over here. Parse it first to make sure everything that is valid, that it is a valid query, and it is in our case. So we hit next. We're actually going to change our table name. We're going to take this table name right here. This is our table name that we're targeting. And then we're going to go back here and change it from DBO query. It's just going to be called DBO sales table with identity. Then this is a crucial part. You have to click edit mappings. Enable identity insert. You have other options here, but we're focused on inserting the identity column. Inserting identity, the data that has a unique qualifier in it, but we're inserting it into an identity column on another table. So everything looks good there. Press next. Press next again, and we press finish. $628 rows were transferred, and that is what we were expecting. So now press F5, and if we do a side-by-side comparison, you can see that from the United States, this is the first record based off of cell ID. When you come to ours, it's not. You can put a identity key on there. You can make it actually a primary key, so it can automatically change things as far as the order that it's in, or you can just change the order. But I think that may also still be a little wonky. So let's just show you what I mean. Order by cell ID, just say ascending. And as you can recall, the other record was in the world database, or the world sales database, it began with 32,000. So let's see what we get here. Okay, you get 27,000, some change. Which is fine. What we're concerned about is the accuracy. So let's take this column right here, the cell ID, and let's see if we get the same return, the same value return. Where cell ID equals and as you can see, you actually do. Same transaction number and everything. So the data got over there safely and fine. It's just a matter of ordering it or adding a primary key to the actual column. I don't believe this table actually has a primary key. Let's change it, or let's check. Nope, no primary key in sight. It just has identity column. So you can make that a primary key, and it will go in the correct order. But better yet, actually, in all actuality, I believe it came out pretty well once we ordered it, because it's actually values that's lower values than the 3,200 or the 32,000. As you can see here, we have 27,000s. But when we check the base data, let's see if we have it here. Do we have any 27? Yeah, we actually do. So the data is just a little wonky as far as the identity, but essentially, just to recap, you want to click on the data, right click on the database that you are going to export the data from. You click on tasks, you go to export data, and then from there you just walk through it. Make sure you enable the identity insert, that is primitive. Make sure you parse it, your query, as soon as you place it in there, and everything will be fine. It's just a matter of ordering it the way that you need, but essentially that's how you run it. So we just inserted values into a table with an identity key column using the GUI. I hope this was helpful. I hope you're able to add this to your toolbox. Have a great day, and bye-bye.